Thanks for checking out the BoshNRoll channel. If you want to see me play your deck, hang out with me in the amazing BoshNRoll community in Discord, access to my lists and sideboard guides before tournaments, book an individual coaching session, or just generally want to support what's going on here, check out the Patreon and YouTube membership options. For the finest Magic the Gathering apparel on the market, use code BoshNRoll for 10% off your order at coalesceapparel.shop. Moxfield.com is the easiest way to build a Magic deck online. If you want to play what I'm playing, use my affiliate link to support the channel while you shop for cards at tcgplayer.com and play any deck anytime on Magic Online with a cardhoarder.com loan account. Thanks for being here. Let's go play some Magic. Welcome back for another BoshNRoll Legacy video. Today, at the request of Patreon subscriber The Blank Man, I am brewing around Collected Company. CoCo shouldn't really need an explanation at this point. It's been a player in pretty much every format it's been legal in. Legacy is about where it stops being a card you want to do, and then Vintage, it's no good at all. But Modern staple, Pioneer staple, actually got some cards banned during its time in Standard. This is a good card. 4 mana instant, look at the top 6 cards of your library, put 2 creature cards with mana value 3 or less from among them onto the battlefield. This deck incentivizes playing a high density of creatures that cost 3 or less, and getting to 4 mana quickly. Those two things can be used in a variety of ways. There was a cool Sultai Collected Company deck kicking around on Magic Online a couple months ago. It just maxed out on Opposition Agent, Hull Breacher, Baleful Strix, just really good value cards. It was basically a mid-range control deck that you just use CoCo for value at the top. I didn't want to do that. I wanted to get a little bolder with the decisions here. And there's a very obvious thing I'm doing and a very not obvious thing I'm doing. The obvious thing is White Bloom Adventure. Come on now. Hot new thing. Everyone's excited about where they could put the initiative. There happens to be a 3-drop that does it. Initiative gives you a totally reasonable backup plan if you're not CoCoing or comboing. We're going to play Mana Dorks anyway, so getting this down on turn 2 is a viable thing we can do. White Bloom Adventure is just in here. The other thing I wanted to do was Devoted Druid combo. And the reason I wanted to explore this is because last year, Swift Reconfiguration was printed, and it got a lot of hype, and then we just haven't really seen it since. I don't even know if I got to play it on the channel. And I'm going to fix that today. 1 mana, Flash Aura, enchant creature or vehicle. Enchanted permanent is a vehicle artifact with crew 5 and loses all its other card types. It's not a creature unless it's crewed. This does 2 things here. One of the things is it's kind of like Swords to Plowshares. It does remove a creature functionally from the battlefield. That artifact vehicle permanent will still have any abilities the creature has, but it can't attack or block unless they crew it for 5. This is pretty cool. Kind of functions as removal if we're on a Protect the Initiative plan. But what it's really here for is Devoted Druid. Devoted Druid, also infamous. It's been a combo enabler since it was printed. Tap for a green, put a -1 counter on this, untap it. On the surface, this is a mana dork that you can get 2 mana out of 1 time before it's too small to activate again. But we all know we're not going to stop there. If you Swift Reconfigure Devoted Druid, it becomes a vehicle artifact, not a creature, with all the same words that Devoted Druid has. This is important in several ways. Number 1, vehicles, uncrewed vehicles, don't die if they have -1 counters on them greater than their power and toughness. That means you can just make infinite green mana with your Devoted Druid car, and it'll stay on the battlefield. The other thing, non-creature permanents are not affected by summoning sickness. You can, all at once for 3 mana, play Devoted Druid and stick Swift Reconfiguration on it and have infinite mana all in 1 turn. It basically gives it haste, and it makes it immune to normal creature removal. This is a tight little package for infinite green mana. What are we going to do with that infinite green mana? We have Duskwatch Recruiter in the deck. It's a Grizzly Bear, 1 and a green for a 2/2. And for 2 and a green, look at the top 3 cards of your library. You may reveal a creature from among them, put it into your hand, put the rest on the bottom of your library in any order. Somewhere in the deck is Walking Ballista. With Infinite Green, we can cast Dutchwatch Recruiter and then activate it until we find Ballista, and then Ballista for as large as we want and destroy opponents. We can also, with our Infinite Green, cast Collected Company, which could hit Ranger Captain of Eos, which both silences your opponent from casting spells on your turn and tutors up the Walking Ballista. Ranger Captain, also just a really exciting card to CoCo into. Even if you're not comboing, it's a solid body and meaningfully disruptive in a game of Magic. Mother of Runes is here, holding down the fort, protecting the combo, or the initiative, whichever plan we're on. And I had room for one more just disruptive or techie monster, and I went with Anointed Peacekeeper. I decided that getting to look at their hand is worth doing, and the fact that this is both a Meddling Mage and a Pithing Needle, the activated abilities cost 2 more. I thought that this would just do a little more than Elite Spellbinder, which was the other card I was considering in the slot. I also looked at Thalia, Guardian of Thraben, but that steps on your CoCo a little too much. I thought about building out the tech creatures with like Knight of Autumn and Collector Oof and Raminef Excavator and this and that, but that makes more sense in a Green Sun Zenith deck. You kind of want redundancy in a Collected Company deck because you don't get to pick exactly what you're getting. You just take the best 2 of the 6 you're looking at. So I went for the 4 of approach for all the most important cards. And that's what we're doing here. There is a accelerated initiative plan with the Mana Dorks. You can protect the initiative with Mother of Runes and your various removal spells. You're also threatening to go off out of nowhere because you have Devoted Druid in your deck. And we just have a deck full of thick 3/3, 3 drops in between. I think there's a real chance this deck would be better as a Green Sun Zenith deck than a CoCo deck. Going back to what I was saying a second ago, build out the plan a little bit. Zenith is a little more direct at getting Devoted Druid than CoCo is, but Zenith doesn't do Stompy Initiative backup plan stuff, and that's not the challenge I was given. It's CoCo time. Blankman, this is Selesnya CoCo combo initiative. Let's do it. I'm on the draw in round 1. This hand does have a turn 3 Collected Company. I'm going to keep. We are playing non-blue, just green-white fair Magic in Legacy, which comes with its concerns. If we experience the normal MTGO League dumpsterings. Okay, I mean, that sucks, but if I draw another land, I can Besage it, or I can just start playing spells. They went double Spirit Guide to get that into play. If I find my land before they do, we're actually fine. I have to play Besage, don't get to play it as a land here. Okay, land off the top, and then we're cooking. Uh-oh, they had the land. What's the follow-up here? Table, okay. Land. Shit. That was it. That was the moment where we could possibly still play this game. And we're a combo deck. I'm going to discard Mother of Runes here. And if they don't do something that locks me out, I could still devote a Druid next turn, and then CoCo the turn after, and then we win. It's all live to occur. Channeled, so Ken's on. Just bring in the beats here. All right, deck, how about that land? God damn. Disappointing. I'm going to discard Anointed Peacekeeper. We're just not going to have time for that. Reflection. I take 4 this turn to 12. Plus whatever else they got going on. Activating a Den. Yeah, I'm probably dead now. Disappointing. At, 4 draw steps to find a land and just didn't. And I think this game is winnable, if not trivial, if we hit it. Last draw step of the game. If I play this land, what happens? I lose a life to cast Devoted Druid. I can block a spirit, and I still take 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yeah. Okay. A little late to the party here. Okay. There's that. What do I want to do in this matchup? Lorien of the Third Path is pretty good. Swords of Plowshares is fine if they're on the Turbo Goblin strat. Mana Dorks are great. Mother of Runes is solid. Endurance doesn't matter. Ranger Cap is still good as a tutor for Ballista, but it's not actually important to the game plan. I might just turn Endurance into Lauren and call it a day here. Don't worry about the blouse. All right, let's do it. Okay, keep this hand. I've got Basic Forest for Noble Hierarch. I can turn to the Initiative or play Devoted Druid and Swords to Plowshares, depending on what I need to do here. I did think about Force of Vigor when I was brewing the deck, but didn't want to dilute my collected companies too much. That's why Lauren is in the sideboard. I'm going to fetch the basic just in case they Blood Moon. The White Plume Adventurer can get the plains. And then I have both lands. They just passed. That's the deal. I am going to go into the Initiative rather than move ahead on Devoted Druid. Would like to lock in the land drop mostly. I get to hold up Swords to Plowshares because White Plume and Noble Hierarch is a busted combo, as we learned from my Stasis video. I think I'm going to go into Lost Well and not Forge. Well, definitely no. They pitched Anarchy to Fury. Hell yeah. Good shit. No float white. Floating white here means that even if they do have land haste creature, I'm not going to lose the initiative this turn. They did have the land and Magus of the Moon. That's what I'm talking about. Remember when I tutored up that plains? That was cool. Going into the Lost Well, I might be able to win right now if I hit Swift Recon. Rising Canopy, I don't really want that. Ranger Cap, don't want that. I'm going to bottom everything. It's the plains, and I'd rather get Devoted Druid into play or Hierarch. Probably Devoted Druid. Kinda sucks I have to plow the Magus because I don't want to lose the initiative. That also unlocks one of their mana here. Table of the Mirror Breaker, you got it. Go into the stash here and get a treasure. Birds of Paradise. Kind of creature flooded here. I could draw a card with Canopy, or I could just dump out my board. Squatch Recruiter. Noble Hierarch. Do I want to put the bird in? I'm already just mega exposed to Fury. I'll fetch for Basic Forest and play my bird too. Just load up for the future. You get a Fable trigger. Discarded Unlicensed Hearse and Ancient Tomb. I don't believe I want to trade Recruiter here. Just going to chump block with Birds of Paradise, which never feels good, but this Recruiter is important. I get a Spooky Skeleton next turn. Add to my board. I am going to untap Devoted Druid in the end step and draw a card with Canopy. Cash that in while I can. My Recruiter is about to flip. Do I want to activate it or just take a draw step? I guess I just draw. All right, CoCo. It's pretty good. That means I get to attack for 4. And I probably want to accompany now. I can get Savannah off this one. I guess I have to. Maybe I wanted to do this pre-combat. Go to Druid, Mother of Runes. Not a super good one. And a Swift Recon just hit the bottom. A lot of material in the way, though. My Throne of the Dead 3 is ready to go. They might be pre-combating a Fury here. They're doing something that costs a bunch of mana. Yep. There's that. They can't clear all my blockers, but they can have Reflection plus Fury starting next turn. Yeah, I gotta figure this out. Tough beats here. And I have to block with Devoted Druid, or else I lose the initiative. Yeah, this is a nightmare. Okay, I get to go into the Throne of the Dead 3, but it better win the game because Reflection plus Fury is online. Anointed Peacekeeper, I could name Reflection of Kiki Jiki with that, but that doesn't even work because they have the treasure token in play. Good White Plume and just keep trying to load up. I could grab a Devoted Druid and try to spike, but with the wrong side of the werewolf up, that doesn't even matter. All right, I'll grab a White Plume, get the basic out of my deck, and hope to draw another CoCo. Shit. We're in trouble, team. At least my Adventurer has Hexproof for this turn. But we are so wrecked next turn. Okay, they're making a copy. Fury just trades with White Plume Adventurer even through the counters and Hexproof. It's tough. Yeah, we kind of flooded out here. We had every opportunity to win the game and came up a little short. I can't be upset about this one. It took 2 Furies to do it, but they had 2 Furies. What are you going to do? They did not make an aggressive attack to guarantee the initiative. I'm going to accept this 0 for 1 here and go into Lost Well and hope to hit CoCo into a win. I don't know. Bad scene all around. Into the Lost Well. 2 White Plume Adventurers. I was going to stash, and then they just died of Fury, so I have to bottom these and hope for a good one. That's not it. All right, GG. Yeah, game 1 came down to missing a land drop for 3 turns, and game 2, we just sort of flooded out when we were miles ahead. But either way, resulted in an L. Trying to think of where I could have done something different. I know I bottomed a Ranger Captain at one point, which could have tutored up a fair Walking Ballista and just play a 2/2 Ballista and poke. But yeah, mostly we just were not able to convert. My collected company hit 2 X1s instead of 2 3/3s. That was the moment where it fell apart. All right, live and die by the CoCo flip. On to the next round.
You come here to level up at Magic. To level up as a software engineer, check out the new YouTube series Dev Better, hosted by the founder of 7-Factor Software and Magic player, Jeremy Duvall. 7-Factor's small teams of high-performing engineers build custom mobile apps, APIs, and highly scalable systems for Fortune 500 companies and ambitious startups with great ideas. If you'd like to hire 7-Factor, or maybe join their team, contact them through their website at 7factor.io. And don't forget to subscribe to 7-Factor's YouTube for every episode of Dev Better.
I'm on the draw in round 2 with a hand that's not going anywhere. I'm going to send it. This I'm much more interested in. Keep this and probably bottom Endurance. Don't have a grain card to pitch to it. All right, Endurance is gone. Let's go. Got a Flooded Strand go from the opponent. And get my Mother into play. For another card I can't cast. Good start. Island Brainstorm. And missed a land drop. Dangerous. I hit mine. That's good news. Now Mom can protect herself. And we can see what's going on with this Anointed Beastkeeper next turn. Ponder likely to shuffle. Yep, shuffled, and they did spike the land into the second Ponder. Second basic island. I wonder if this is High Tide. I'm genuinely looking forward to when Triumph of St. Catherine is on Magic Online, and we can have decks full of basic islands just going nuts everywhere. I can't fetch basics here because these fetch lands don't get plains. I'll get a forest, but then double up on Savannah. Let's take a peek. All right, High Tide mostly confirmed. Yep. I'm gonna name High Tide. High Tide all the way confirmed. There is one actually in the hand. Okay, so I have Anointed Beastkeeper protected by Mom against Mono Blue. They're going to need a backup plan or, what, 5 lands in play to get the party started? Noble Hierarch, get in there. Back for 4 and play the other Mom. I think they know the top card of their deck right now if they kept that Ponder, the second Ponder. Okay, here's Predict. Naming Time Spiral, milled the Time Spiral, draw 2. Did know that card. This Flusterstorm's kind of annoying. Me sitting on this collected company in my creature deck. So if this Predict got 2 lands together, or access to 2 lands, they're in the right direction. Another Predict. Naming Island, but milled Cunning Wish. Preordain. Okay, they're digging for lands right now for sure. And if they tap out a Flusterstorm, I'm in business. Bottom, and miss the land drop. Flusterstorm is off temporarily. Might even discard it to hand size here. Yeah, Flusterstorm just hit the bin. Okay, I'm just going to CoCo right now. Let's get a peek. Sasquatch Recruiter and White Plume Adventurer coming in. Am now initiated. Search for a Plains. And attack for 4. I guess I could have attacked with Mother of Runes too, because White Plume would have just untapped it. But then I would have lost the damage. If I attack with both Mothers, I get to push 5 damage instead of 4, but that gives them, in response to the White Plume, it could bounce Peacekeeper. Yeah, not interested. Okay. I accidentally made the correct play. Alrighty. Deafening Silence, big time. Choke, big time. Lauren, rest in peace. Lion Sash, not really. Swords to Plowshares are coming out. Ranger Captain, they can't actually win with this card in play. I just sit it in play and can threaten silence whenever I feel like it. I cut 2 more cards. Adventurer does get the game over. Mother of Runes felt good. I don't know if it's necessary. They're probably going to be undressed down to shut me down. I'm going to shave the mothers. Deafening Silence to choke are just way better anyway. Let's go. This is a turn 2 Ranger Cap. I'm in. High Tide is a deck that its best Goldfish is turn 3, so you can really kind of push and keep slower hands than you would against other combo decks. But we'll get after it. Oh, they missed a land drop again? Oh no. Is that one a misclick? Is that real? There's White Plume Adventurer. Okay, I guess that is my priority. That's better the longer it's in play. Force of Will, pitching Cunning Wish, okay. And Brainstorm in the end step. I feel like they must have misclicked through their turn if they had Brainstorm but missed a land drop anyway. That was a weird thing to happen. Merchant Scroll. Grabbing a High Tide. Okay. Are you ready to get capped? I'm going to fetch Savannah, start getting lands out of the way here. I have Reconfiguration. Whenever I find a Druid and the Ballista's in my hand, just ready to rip. Tutor up a Noble Hierarch, play it, and pass the turn. I can silence in response to a High Tide. Under's fine. Beardane, you got it. Yeah, there's kind of a game of chicken here where they don't want a High Tide because I can silence, but I have to silence if they High Tide. So if they have 2 High Tides, they can use 1 to functionally kill my Ranger Cap. And if they're setting up for a dress down, oh, insane thing that might end up happening. If they dress down, I think they're safe. And then I can Reconfiguration my Ranger Captain so it's not a creature anymore. And then it's a vehicle with the ability to sacrifice. Oh my god. That's pretty insane. I'm going to get a Mother this time. I think protecting my investment is not where I want to be, rather than ramping. Instep Brainstorm. Merchant Scroll. For Brainstorm, then they cast Ponder. They're still just aggressively sculpting here. And another land. Now Mother Runes is awake, in case that matters. Back for 6. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 mana. Good Ballista for 3. It doesn't change the clock, though. I mean, it does if I have to use a Ranger Cap. Okay, I am going to Ballista for 3. I like that I have an odd number of mana, so I'm not giving away that I have a spell by just elbow tapping here. I can't combo anymore, but it's not my plan to combo. It's my plan to win next turn. Just silence them and then bash. If they Force of Will, I also end up with lethal on board. I'm going to silence in response to High Tide. I play CEDH. You can't trick me with this. Because once the tide resolves, they could like tide again, turnabout, etc. in response to Captain activation. They are Spiral Tide, which is a sorcery. But some versions of this deck can do a lot, if not win outright at instant speed. So that's the time to do it. And we made the right call. Didn't get to do the cool anti-dress down technology. On to the next round. This video is sponsored by Moxfield.com, the easiest way to build Magic decks online. Moxfield supports over 30 formats, including Legacy and every other format you'll see on this channel. They have multiple customizations so you can view your deck how you want. Text view, stacks, grid, custom grouping by type, subtype, color, light mode, dark mode. However you want to see your deck, they can provide it for you. My favorite feature is you can choose your set printing, make the deck look exactly how you want it to. The deck screen features expandable sections that show you what tokens your deck makes, your recent change history to the deck, stats about mana curve and opening hand distribution, mana cost distribution. You can deal out sample hands and even play test the deck. Island Ponder. You know I'm keeping this one. This site has everything. Follow me on Moxfield.com to keep up with decks I'm playing for the channel and what I'm up to in paper. I'll see you there. I'm on the draw with a hand that invests but doesn't have a payoff yet. I'm going to keep this. I'm going to embrace my inner green-white depths and just hope I don't get dumpstered. Volcanic Island Ponder. What deck does that we know about? Not shuffle their library off the ponder. Okay, investment's starting to pay off. I'm gonna lead on Mother. Just getting that going early is worth a lot. It blanks so much of their deck if I can just untap with this. And if it resolves, like they didn't daze it, now this is going to tie up some mana. If they want to bolt it, it has to happen now. Okay, they're not Is It Delver that I was worried about. Prismatic, the Mother. Okay, fair enough. I would have fetched differently if I knew they were not Is It. Because now I can't double hierarch this turn. All right. No regrets. Now I know for next game. Aggressive iteration. Okay. Just a little Jeskai control here. I haven't seen this in a long time. My plan for next turn, and it'll depend on what I draw. Okay, they exiled Swords of Plowshares, so they do intend to cast it. I was going to say my plan is to Ranger Captain, tutor up Mother, and play Mother. Okay, that was a solid 2 for 1. No matter what god you believe in, 2 for 1. That's what it looks like. Oh, this is Hot Band? Is this my deck? Doing this to me? Yeah, that's a Savannah they just tutored for. Ranger Cap, let's go. Do I just get the Ballista or continue trying to do Mother of Runes business? I'm going to keep grabbing Mother of Runes here. This is a deck with a ton of removal in it. EI. Like, capping in response to EI is the same as them EIing into a removal spell, except I don't make them have it. Just not going to do that. Disappointing. I would rather have 3 life than Ranger Cap in the graveyard. I don't do anything in the graveyard. Come on, deck. This is enough lands now. Remember when I kept this hand based on investing in the future? And I've drawn 2 lands. Or 3 lands and a Ranger Captain since then. Beats. Oh god, Terminus. That was just there. They did nothing to set that up. Brutal. Probably a one of. Brainstorm to follow it up. Now I need Collected Company. That's what has to start happening here. Wasteland. Do they have Loam? Keep it going. I have another fetch land in my hand and a basic. I'm just going to keep fetching Savannas. All right, that's a CoCo. That is what I was looking for. I'm going to cast it now before they untap into Hardcast Force of Will, and I'm an initiative deck, so having this happen now. Anointed Peacekeeper also relevant now. Brainstorm in response. Force of Will, down to 2 cards in hand, pitching an EI. That was a high value CoCo, but they did counter it. If they follow up with Minsk and Boo here, or just get Uro happening, we're still in trouble. And there it is. There is a Caracas in my deck, I think. Yes, I did put one in there. We got to put something together very quickly now. Okay, this is a creature I can play and activate. Get some card advantage, maybe. Mystic Sanctuary is online if they want it. Did go after it. And they went for Swords to Plowshares, okay. Oh, they made a second hamster. That doesn't matter. You could just Legend Roll, keep the first one. Minsk and Boo, Secret Morbid Enabler. Revolt Enabler. Taking 4 here. If I were the opponent, I would throw Boo at Duskwatch Recruiter, draw 4 cards, and just pass the turn. Yep. Yeah, they're going to pass the turn with Swords of Plowshares and 5 other cards in their hand. Very hard to win from here. God, it just fucking whiffed. Just good deck building. Birds of Paradise, hell yeah, that'll show you. Might as well just go all in with the land here. I'm not bluffing anything. They know they're in charge this game. Endurance, sure. I don't think I can actually win. They're holding Swords to Plowshares. I'm on a 2-turn clock. No, we don't need to keep doing this. I'm good. Yeah, the various Bant decks built to just chew up what we're doing here. But Choke is very good. Rest in Peace is solid. That turns off Uro, Loam, Mystic Sanctuary. Don't want Swords to Plowshares. Endurance is fine. I could back off on Mana Dorks against the deck that's going to have at least 1, maybe 2 Terminus post board. I'll back off Mana Dork a little bit.
2 chokes and a rest in peace. Yeah, this works for me. Let's do it. Okay. This is a hand with spells in it. Windswept Teeth and pass. A Flooded Strand pass. And I'm going to get a Plains and cast my Recruiter. I have tons of removal that can handle this thing, but there's also lots of starts from this deck that pass the turn and this flips. Brainstorm, so ending doesn't work anymore. They have to plow it, and plow it they shall do. They get a peek with Peacekeeper, see what I'm up against. Ooh. I think we just name Flooded Strand. Try to slow him down a turn. That costs 2 extra to activate. It's the only land in your hand. If they just play a different land here and get moving on Uro. God damn it. Best laid plans. This has to be Prismatic Ending, because, or it can be Uro, it can't be Endurance. Prismatic Ending it is. Ooh. Well, with a Minskin Boo in your hand, I can't become the initiative right now. This one's going to name Minskin Boo. Yep, Uro's a good card. Minskin Boo is at least 2 turns away from being deployed, and then activating it also costs extra. Flooded Strand can't fetch Taiga, so they still can't cast Endurance or escape Uro with what they've got going on here. They're going to start digging. That land does do all the things they need it to. I don't need another land, so I'm going to fetch. I'm going to tutor a land this turn anyway. Oh, fuck yeah. All right, I'll take some of that. I'm going to start with White Plume Adventurer. Save this Beseiju. Fetching in response. Why? Going to brainstorm and try to force. Oh, you actually just have Dress Down. That's a tilt. Okay. And I don't have enough mana to Beseiju this thing before my creature resolves. Good card. Play Beseiju and rest in peace. At least answers Uro. And attack for 3 without vigilance. That was a pretty good 1 unknown hand card in your hand to have. It has vigilance anyway. Someday I'll remember this card that has this effect on it. Here comes EI. Exiled a Brainstorm. There's the Brainstorm. We don't know these cards are in their hand anymore. I imagine they're going to keep Endurance. That's just a booty that can tangle with my board. They can cast Minskin Boo next turn and then start activating it the turn after. Recruiter's pretty solid. Ranger Cap. I'm just going to get the Ballista now. No more bluffing. Grab Walking Ballista. The Duskwatch Recruiter. They can't Terminus with Ranger Captain in play. In response to the trigger, I can sack it, and then it doesn't work. Endurance can eat anything I would attack with, so pass the turn. They're just hard casting Terminus. No! Come on! Can't get a break anywhere. Okay, I guess I am elbow tapping for a Walking Ballista right now. Aggressive Iteration. Exiled Endurance. Just cast in the 3/4 booty. Ponder. Collected Company still a good draw. Getting the initiative is a good draw. That is not good. It's going to attack. I can make Ballista a 4/4. I am winning in combat and winning the race. Take 4. And might as well play my land. I'm 1 land away from double activating Ballista, and if my opponent's 7 cards in hand somehow don't kill this thing. That is a real plan. Another EI. Zelda Brainstorm. There's the Brainstorm. White mana, my nemesis. I'm gonna destroy Endurance. And this is my only Walking Ballista, and it's now gone, so I can't combo kill anymore. I'm gonna have to beat them fair and square. Gonna fetch. Not trying to draw more lands here. Come on, initiative. Alright, Endurance. That's not nothing. Second they find Minskin Boo, we're just screwed. Yep, there we go. I still have Caracas I can draw into. If I deploy Endurance in the end step, I can pressure Minskin Boo. If I draw Noble Hierarch, I can take it out. We're just pretending my opponent's 5 cards in hand don't do anything, because I can't beat them if they do. Collected Company, always a banger. White Plume Adventurer. Well, I have an enormous trample creature in play. This isn't even good. Guess I will attack Minskin Boo and then probably concede when they cast literally any spell here. Ugh. Yeah, this initiative is a huge fucking beating. Just don't even care. They have the trample creature. I guess I will deploy it anyway. Gets another land out of the deck, makes another angle of play on this game. Gives them a real win con, which I'm not excited about. All right, there you go. They had endurance to block and just didn't care. Get to untap my endurance, but because they played endurance, I don't even have a good block now. They have to plus because I put damage on Minsc and Boo. We're spending meta on something. The second Minsc and Boo. Am I just dead? Can attack with their 7/7, which I cannot defeat in combat. And then minus deal 7 to me or one of my creatures and draw 7 cards. And I can't combo kill anymore because my Ballista's gone. I'm good here. We don't need to keep doing this. That's what it's like being a green-white creature deck versus hot band. Jesus.
We're a few rounds into the video. Thanks for sticking with me. Friendly reminder that if you're still here and having fun, smash that subscribe button. And if you want to play what I'm playing, you can use my affiliate link for TCG Player to support the channel while you shop for cards, and you can try any deck anytime with a cardhoarder.com loan account for Magic Online. All these links are in the video description below. Now back to the league.
On the play for round 4, I have a turn 2 Devoted Druid and then a Raid of Peacekeepers. I'm going to keep this. I specifically didn't put stuff like Sylvan Library in the deck because I wanted this to lean into Collect a Company, and that's just hits that aren't creatures. Obviously, we've played a few matches where that card would be great. It looks like we're playing against the pseudo mirror, if we can call it that. Should I Beseiju this Ancient Tomb and just set them back on mana? I think that's a reasonable thing to do here. Basic Plains and Beseiju this. Yeah, I'm gonna just try to screw them. That's what my hand does, so I'll do it. Never screwed, never even fucking worried about it for a second. Perfect. Okay, we have a lot of the same tools as this deck. We're not as focused, but we do have a combo kill. But they currently have the initiative. Oh, that Mother of Runes would have been a lot better on turn 1 than now. Okay, I'm gonna name Solitude and pass the turn. Their hand is just all mana here. They are going into kill mode. Any white card in their hand beats me. Oh, good. That was a nice draw. Taking the max here. What can I even do? I could draw Collect a Company, I guess. They just explored another White Plume Adventurer to the top of the deck. And we're dead. Okay. That's what it looks like when you play against a focused Legacy deck. Like Swords to Plowshares. And that's probably the only thing that I like here. I pretty much need to combo this opponent out. Endurance is a body, but I have a lot of bodies. It's not a particularly special body. And Anointed Peacekeeper, also kind of medium. Okay, let's try to go fast. Doesn't really go fast. It does attack and interact, though. Both of which are things that I like. The opponent went to 5. I played my Windswept Heath like a dingus. Literally any other fetch land is better than that one. Because I was getting Savannah anyway, and Heath can get my basics if I needed to, where Misty doesn't. The opponent went to 5. Let's see what the big payoff here is. They have the initiative. If they have Solitude to back it up, they're in good shape. If not, I'm going to take it. 2 cards left in their hand. Is it white card Solitude? Swords to Plowshares, your creature. Back you. I hate my life. Hate my life so much. Well, they are empty over there. It's Plains and whatever they're about to draw. You hear the Copium. And I want to play Birds of Paradise because it's a flyer. And then Noble Hierarch can let it attack for 1. Yeah. I think that's better if they find exactly Paulo this turn. But I could still pay 3 for the Hierarch, but Paulo flies anyway. Yeah, okay. This is correct. They top-bottomed with their Scries, Anointed Peacekeeper, naming noble hierarch. Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. I'm going to take the initiative here. Yep. Leading on the flying creature. Paid me out. A3 for a hierarch. Back for 1. Claim the initiative. Search for a basic. Grab a plains. I already have a forest. And I will block if I get the opportunity. I think keeping the initiative is worth doing here. And going into Lost Well. Shablockies. Lost Well, if I find a CoCo or just something I can put in front of this Peacekeeper, we're in business. Forge, I'm still not bigger than the Peacekeeper. Lost Well it is. How about a company? Mother, really good next turn. I'm off it. I'm swinging for the fences here. Swift Recon, okay. Rising Canopy, I'm going to take a draw. Okay, there's a CoCo. I can recon their anointed Peacekeeper, and then it can't attack. Or I could block with Bird and just bet. I'm going to reconfigure this thing. This is a plan that I talked about using, which is just protect the initiative with the removal spells. Control deck strat here. Get the stash. And now I can CoCo. Oh, and Mother. Cool. Company first. Here we go. Yeah, and they conceded. All right, all right. We saw game 1 where the focus deck won, and we saw game 2 where the deck with more interplay and a different plan won. Now they're on the play, though. Where I don't get to have a creature in play backed by a removal spell on turn 1. Don't think this is getting better. This is the plan that I have. If I had a Noble Hierarch, I would really like this hand. This does have some combo potential. I can take the initiative back the hard way. My opponent kept 7, which means we're probably just dead. I'm gonna mulligan this. Okay, there we go. Rewarded. Keep this one and send, I think it's Peacekeeper to the bottom. Ancient Tomb, Chrome Mox. We've seen these cards before. And you have the initiative. I'm gonna Savannah, Mother of Runes. Savannah, Mother. Try to set up a combo for turn 3. I can, once I have infinite green, I can CoCo. They're going into the Lost Well. They're not trying to just race me here. They are trying to play the control deck now. That's annoying. You're going to swing for the fences on Windswept Heath. They're just named Devoted Druid. Windswept Heath. All right, come on, deck. Just give me a fucking land. Just some other land I can play. Right, deck. Land that's not Windswept Heath. Now's the time. Now's the time. God damn. Sucks. All right, they're going to get away with the cheese. I can't recon because that's my only real chance to even win this game at all. I mean, that's pretty slim, though. Okay. Saying there's a chance. That's Savannah. And I mean, they're showing me everything here as Solitude, Swords of Plowshares, whatever. Here is the play that I have. The other alternative was, I guess, and maybe I just blew that. The alternative was spending 2 mana and a life to crack the Windswept Heath now, and then next turn Devoted Druid and hope they don't realize how Swift Recon works. But they had 9 power anyway. We're just dead. Okay. Anointed Peacekeeper got the cheese, but it looked like it was backed up by Solitude anyway, so didn't really matter. On to the final round.
For the absolute best Magic the Gathering apparel on the market, check out the link in the video description to coalesceapparel.shop, and be sure to use the code BoshNRoll for 10% off when you check out.
It's the final round. I'm on the play with a pretty reasonable looking hand. I can accelerate a CoCo and interact with an opponent. Those are the things that I want to be doing. Get my Nobly Hierarch in there. Noblerino. Show me the Entomb. Let's get it over with. Ancient Tomb. That's kind of like Entomb. Okay. Oh, it's a blue card. What's going on over here? I hope that we get Arakroa sneaked here. Narset. Okay, that's bad. Narset. Don't show me Echo of Eons. Don't you do it. I don't want to see it. Arn the Great Creator. Didn't want to see that either. Being honest. Swift Recon. I'm going to play Caracas. This is not going to be a deck that cares about basic lands. And attack Narset. They want to use her. I want her to die for it. And pass the turn. Mission accomplished. Narset in the graveyard. Force of Will. Didn't want to see that. Anointed Peacekeeper. Interesting. I can take a look at their hand, maybe sniff out the Force of Will. Force pitching force. Different arts, and they did pitch the art that I saw. Okay. I'm not going to attack. I could plow or swift recon as necessary. Bog is messed up though. It's a lot of mana. Druid. Okay. I have Swords of Plowshares for this jerk. They Echo of Eons. It's going to cost them their whole grip. Well, they get a fresh grip, but and at least Swords of Plowshares the Sholdred. We did it. And by it, I mean literally anything. I drew my 1 of Endurance and a green card to pitch to it. Might continue to have game actions this turn. LED. Disappointed. Okay, yeah, that Endurance doesn't do anything against this. We're just going another round. And we're back to a full grip with Galactic Companies. Okie dokie. Come on, Swift Recon off the top. Just a land. I'm gonna Peacekeep again. Just keep looking. I want to know what's going on over there. Force pitching Hull Breacher. Okay. I'm gonna deploy Mother of Runes. Still holding up Swords to Plowshares. Just want to say how fucked up this deck is to be playing against with green-white creatures. Dot strat. Come on. Give me a break. I'm gonna fetch in my upkeep. This lets me have all my mana and my Mother of Runes available, but still not have to draw a bad card. Are we oppoing? Sure. Fair enough. Swords to Plowshares. That makes sense for the black mana. I understand now. Mana and draw Devoted Druid. Okay, I'm gonna main phase a CoCo. I'm gonna fetch first, leaving up Noble Hierarch. Or no, I'm gonna leave up Caracas. We've seen a legendary creature that I care deeply about. White Plume Adventure and Anointed Peacekeeper and White Plume Adventure are where I want to go with this. Endurance doesn't help. Hull Breacher and Karn. I guess I name Karn the Great Creator. And hope they don't draw something to go with that Hull Breacher. Then we initiate. Get a forest. I'm not sure that matters. And I think... Oh, no, don't attack. They literally have a creature that can block. They can Hull Breacher right now. Okay, don't draw 7 right now with your 1 draw step, please. Underground Sea. No attacks. Good news. Come on, Swift Recon. And I am going to go into the Lost Well. I'm a combo deck. Let's try to find the combo piece. Here in the last round. Let's do it. Recruiter. I think I want to bottom that. I'm just in the market for Swift Recon. That wasn't it. A CoCo. Another Adventurer and a Hierarch that puts me into the stash. The Swift Recon and a Plow to the bottom. It also goad the Hull Breacher. It's kind of interesting. I am going to goad the Hull Breacher. Has to fight next turn. And in the meantime, I'll attack for 5. And I'm going to drop one of these Devoted Druids. You start going into the Construct world. I get to untap all my creatures. I have 2 White Plumes. And a number of colorless blockers now. Hull Breacher has to attack. Tutored up LED. Do you have a payoff for it? Second LED. Sappers and Scary Karn are 2 of the 3 cards in their hand. 1 mystery card. Ancient Tomb just played. Alright, we have all the information we need. They can cast Karn but can't activate it here. Or they could activate it if they use LED mana. They can tutor for and cast something that costs 4 or less. Anointed Peacekeeper getting them on the Meddling Mage and on the Pithing Needle. Okay, they're going in. Something that costs 4 or less. They could get Ensnaring Bridge, then Hull Breacher can't attack. Okay, now I have to win by comboing. Alright, deal. In the misery. I have to go into Catacombs because there is still a Hull Breacher in play. If I go into Archive, they just get a treasure. Catacombs. Oh, Ballista doesn't even work with Karn in play. Is this game winnable? My Noble Hierarchs and Devoted Druids can still attack, but there's 4/4s in the way of my 2/4 attacker. And Mom doesn't help it. All right, I guess we are just hanging out and hoping the initiative wins the game on its own. They have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. They can lattice this turn. Then I just have to sit and watch the Undercity tick around and around. It wouldn't take that long because Throne of the Dead 3 immediately pays me out. They would have to go to 4 to cast Lattice this turn, tapping all their Ancient Tombs. So it actually would not take that long to win this game through a Lattice. Karn is being activated. Is Lattice the plan? They can probably accurately realize this isn't good enough, but they're going for it anyway. I'm going to fetch in response. Let's get this land out. The Throne of the Dead 3 is going to pop. Their creatures can't attack. Neither can mine. Still have activated abilities and triggered abilities moving forward. Let's enter the throne and hit a White Plume Adventurer. Got to turn off the clock. White Plume Adventurer confirmed. That puts me right back in the secret entrance, which means that they're dead in 2 turns if they can't figure out how to get through their own ensnaring bridge. All right, send it. Your turn. And they can't tap an Ancient Tomb again. They're drawing off the top. Just played Underground Sea, that's no good. Karn can start plussing to kill my 0 drops. Even that costs 2 mana though. And they have plenty of mana, they can do it. I got blockers. They can't attack either. Yeah, okay. They have 1 more draw step to figure this out. Okay, I'm going into the Forge. I am trying to win with Trap this game. I'm going to Forge the Anointed Peacekeeper. I think that's the one that is doing the most work right now. I don't think it matters, but I'm going to do. Here's my planes, and I will pass the turn. You are dead on board. If they minus Karn to try to find a way out of Ensnaring Bridge, then Karn leaves play, and it unlocks all of my permanents for a turn. Okay, Urza Saga, so they're dead. Didn't activate Karn, didn't bother. And the initiative, just creeping through the Undercity. I'm completely immobilized, but I am still just sliding through the Undercity through no fault of my own. A perfectly normal match of Legacy. Okay, we are against a absolute shit murdering style deck. Mega Stompy on multiple axes. We've seen Opposition Agent and Hull Breacher and various combo kills. Rest in Peace does stop Echo, where Endurance does not. I don't know if I have enough cards to take out for all the ones I want to bring in. I want Plow, Loran, Oof, for sure. Probably a Rest in Peace. There's not enough cards to take out here. I think Mother of Runes, not necessary. I'll get the 5 definites in. Swift Recon does not work as a removal spell in this matchup, unlike the last one. If I turn Oppo Agent or Hull Breacher into a vehicle, then it just gets to hang out and play unkillable. Deafening Silence, maybe that card is for the when I'm on the play, but on the draw it seems kind of bad. Peacekeeper, one of the best cards that I have. Maybe I'll back off of Birds of Paradise for the other Rest in Peace and do it like this for now. If there's a game 3 and I'm on the play, I'll look at Deafening Silence if I can find room for those. This hand is very close to being good. It needs another mana source. I'm going to keep though. Let's go. There's a good chance this won't even be my hand on my first turn. Let's just rock out. Ancient Tomb, go. Is there play? Okay. I drew the land. I'm going to hope they don't have Zombie Spirit Guide or some way to Opposition Agent here. Yeah, didn't think so. Noble Hierarch, get after it. Am I deceased? Oh yeah, absolutely dead. Yep. I guess I'll let this resolve, but this game is over. Here we are being a green-white deck again. I'm just going to let them goldfish for a little bit and see if I learn anything about their deck that I didn't already know. There's Karn, and we're just getting turn 1 latticed. Hell yeah. Okay, we're good. I'm chilling. Yeah, that was, that's how that works. Deafening Silence is definitely coming in. Now that I'm on the play, just give me a snowball's chance in hell, basically. What do I want to do about this? Maybe it's the Ranger Captains. That card is also pretty good. Am I just full Selesnya CoCo beatdown? Just have to go into the initiative, try to stick an oof for some hate piece, and play the game. Ranger Captain is an effective hate piece, though. You can't get latticed with Ranger Captain in play because they can't cast it. Walking Ballista feels risky against the Karn deck. Maybe I don't even want that. But I haven't Druid comboed yet, and this is a good matchup for it if it's going to happen. Okay, I'm doing this. I can still Druid combo, but I don't have my Silence Lions anymore. This is not it. Gonna mulligan. This I'm in for. If they turn 1 me, I'm dead, but I have turn 2 Collector Roof, and I have the combo here. I guess I bottom one of the lands, or I could bottom the Recon. Do I think oof into initiative is going to win this game? Okay, I'm going to bottom the land and hope I get a turn 2. I don't expect this deck to play Dark Ritual. I think I have at least a window to fetch in response to Oppo. All right. Heatbog Go was their play. I'm going to stick my oof here and hope it's good. Hope it sticks, I guess, is step 1. It resolved. That means Lion's Eye Diamond doesn't work. Saga, top beats, and this is showing Opposition Agent. Okay, I'm gonna summon this Devoted Druid and pass the turn. I can get infinite mana and cast CoCo next turn, see where that goes. But I can't Ballista with my own oof in play, so this CoCo's just gonna be for value. Okay, let's do it. All right, that's a good one. Reconfigure. Can we do it? Can I have this, please? Don't counterspell me. But doing stuff. Stop. No. It's Otawara. Fuck you with your Otawara. All right. I will float 2 mana. It's going back into my hand anyway. It can just redeploy itself. But my opponent is not dead, which is disappointing. I think I'd rather just take the initiative while they're sleeping. Grab a forest. Hit my land drop for the turn and attack. Okay. That was a pretty reasonable consolation prize. I'm still not really consoled, but we are playing a game here. We did at least threaten a Druid combo. And they're going to have to delete their Peat Bog to put a single construct into play if that's the line they're going to take. They're just tutoring. And that Otawara was destined for my oof. So that was a good lightning rod. Mox Opal, that doesn't work. And just pass without spending the mana that was floating. I'm going to forge onto Collector Oof. That might be putting all my eggs in one basket, but forging onto Oof means that it beats Opposition Agent and the other jerk in combat. Hull Breacher. I'm going to attack with both creatures. I would happily trade with a Hull Breacher or Oppo and White Plume, second main. I'm not going to play this fetch land into an Oppo, but I will go into Trap. Just dome my opponent and hope they're dead. I get to untap both creatures. Didn't do anything with their mana. Are you dead? Hey, we got the GGs and a concession. Okay. A 2-3 record. This league was a little weird. We never did assemble the Recon combo. I think this might be better as a Green Sun Zenith deck than a CoCo deck, like I said at the beginning. But the CoCo half of the deck was pretty sweet. Just being able to accompany into the initiative and into meaningful disruption in Peacekeeper. Ranger Captain is a card that I love that I wish saw more legacy play, but doesn't really line up in important ways. But I'm glad I found a home for it. If I revisited this deck, or at least this archetype, without any stipulations, I would make it a Green Sun Zenith deck with Thalia and other stuff up the curve and try to be kind of just Maverick with a combo kill rather than building around CoCo. You wouldn't need the initiative in there, but I do like that the initiative adds a second layer That's the thing I've been saying a lot on the channel lately. The turbo white initiative decks, you can feel how you want about those, whether you think it's just, you know, cheesy or doesn't belong in the format or whatever, but it's here and it's going to be here. But I think the initiative is really interesting as a way to put air decks back in the saddle. This is a combo deck that also has multiple reasonable fair plans, and that's made possible by the initiative. I don't know where I'm going with this thought, but I think that the initiative and its applications outside of just Turbo Stompy are really interesting, and I'm excited to keep exploring them. I think 4 of my 5 most recent Legacy videos have featured White Plume Adventure, and that'll cool up after a while. It's a hot new card, and we're trying it out. I like this style of thing. I like that we get to explore the style of thing and still have that backdoor to win games. It's a good time to be a Legacy brewer. This deck, probably not where it wants to be, but the engine is there in White Plume Adventure, plus 56 other cards, is a shell that exists. The Druid Recon Mother of Runes thing is a thing that exists. Like I talked about, we can make this a toolbox deck. We can make it more of a Maverick deck. We can make it a Stoneforge Mystic deck and play that equipment that turns Devoted Druid into a Crazio. What is that card even called? Luxior, Giada's Gift is what I'm thinking of. 1 mana legendary artifact equipment. Equipped creature gets +1 counter for each counter on it, or gets +1/+1 for each counter on it. Devoted Druid puts -1 counters on itself. So Luxior equipped to Devoted Druid is infinite green mana, because the +1 of the equipment will counteract the -1 counters. And because it's a 1 mana equipment, you can make a Stoneforge Mystic deck, you can make an Urza Saga deck, both of which result in Luxior. Yeah, there's lots of ways to take that shell. That deck would not be a company deck, though. Yep, as is tradition at the end of these videos, my brain is now splitting into 10 different paths, and each one of which could have been its own video, and maybe it will be in the future. But I'm going to sign off before I go too deep down any of those rabbit holes. Blankman, thank you for this Collected Company Brew Challenge. This deck was fun to work on, and I think there's a lot of core ideas here for enterprising deck builders to establish. Establish is not the word I'm looking for. Extrapolate on, continue to work on. Someone can take this somewhere. There's a lot of good stuff here. Thank you all for watching. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Check out the Patreon, everything else that supports the video, and I'll see you next time.